What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to BeamNG Drive. Today we're looking at the Gavril MD versus the Gavril Durham. Well, if you don't know, the Gavril MD came out last week when they announced 0.33 update. This is a medium duty truck with the inline 6-cylinder diesel engine that is it's a pretty fast boy. Let's see how much power we're making right here. So right off the shelf, I have the power weight ratio mod active right here on the bottom corner. So we're pushing out right around 200 miles per hour for this vehicle. And then we're looking at 203 for the Gavril Durham. So starting off, I guess in today's video, we're going to kind of answer some questions and just kind of play with both of these vehicles and see which one you guys want to rock. Do you guys want to download the old Durham mod, or do you guys want to just completely forget it and play with the MD? Starting off with the Durham, we are looking in the front. Pretty simple, pretty similar design. There are a few different options for the front kind of like body. So you have your C45, which is the smaller version. Then it goes up to C55, which starts to get a little bit bigger with multiple different configurations. Then we jump to a C65, which is starting to get a lot bigger. And this, you can start seeing that the front end is changing a little bit, kind of like on a newer year vehicle. Yeah, it says 2000 to 2006. And then after the C65, we go to the C75, which is starting to get to big boys. So here you have some box trucks, a semi truck with the fifth wheel on it. And then we get to the CT85. That has a tandem dual axle rear end, which is pretty neat. So all in all, 43, I think, different variations, different configurations, which is pretty neat. Looking in here in the vehicle config, it's just like unlimited different different types of configurations you can do. If you go to under the engine itself, you can come in here under the engine, and it's just endless. There's just endless engines. There's 1, 2, 3. There's about 12 engines you could put in this thing. Different types of engines, different configurations, diesel and gas, X, Y, Z. As far as transmission goes, same here. You have your diesel transmissions, you got a drag transmission, automatic, and a race. A lot of different configurations. Looking at the front suspension, you can just do the base front beam suspension. You can do a medium duty beam, which is still not four-wheel drive, but it's just the beam suspension. And then also for the front, you can do the solid axle. So when you do the solid axle on the Durham, it raises the front end up a little bit. But if you come here to the MD, if you put the only other front end suspension, it raises it up a lot because it's considered an off-road front end. But actually, it kind of matches the height of the Durham. All right, that was actually a big fat lie. The tires were stuck in the ground, so as soon as you pop them out, you could tell how much of a height difference that is. Yeah, putting the four-wheel drive system on here does actually raise the front end up a lot. And then also, if we come back in here, we'll go into the rear frame. We can do the different options there. There's just leaf spring and then off-roading. So same for this one. We just have to kind of get the ground off the... Oh gosh. Get the ground off the rear end. So yeah, it does raise this thing up a quite bit, which it doesn't look bad. I think it looks really good. All right, moving over here to the Durham. Same thing. If we go into suspension, there's not much here, right? This is the solid front end. And then for the rear, there's a few different options as well. The options kind of remind me of the H and D series. It doesn't give you that many options, but there is plenty there. But yeah, you can definitely tell that the MD definitely looks a little bit more heavy duty, because you can just tell by the size of that axle on the front end. And then the axle here is kind of small. But they're both very well capable vehicles. We're going to run them through their paces here in a little bit. And I just wanted to show you guys, we'll do a cold start of the Durham. So since the Durham has so many engines, it's kind of hard to tell. Okay, so this is a V6 diesel, or a 6-liter diesel V8. So let's just start this one. All right, here is the MD. We're going to do a cold startup. Okay, the biggest thing starting off here is we're going to check the suspension. I am playing on remote, or I'm sorry, I'm playing on the steering wheel, and I used to use the Durham before in career mode, and the force feedback would feel kind of sloppy, like it didn't exist, and now it feels a lot better. I think it's because of the new update, trying to fix the force feedback a little bit. So I don't know if that's the reason, or if maybe I just had my settings wrong at the time. But yeah, it does feel pretty good. Some cars kind of just feel like they don't exist, and that's what I was kind of experiencing. So I didn't really was using the Durham that much. Okay, I handled that pretty well. I kept a consistent speed of about 5 miles an hour. Let's try to go a little bit faster, maybe like 10 miles. See if there's any real damage. Let's go on the inside, maybe. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Did it very well. While we're in here, let's look at the interior of the Durham. So you can tell the steering wheel is the Gavril steering wheel. Let's zoom in here to the interior. Pretty nice little gauge cluster. Has all the information that you need. Lights up really well. 262,000 miles on the odometer. It's pretty wild. Here's the shifter. It does work. Has kind of like a nice physics to it as well. You can see that it's just slapping around. Another thing too I wanted to check out was the door closing noise. Oh yeah, that sounds good. I like how the door opens all the way. There's no limit on the door. Okay. There's also like different noises too. It also makes different noises. Alright, looking in the interior of the Durham. The cluster has a little bit more going on. It's like a green kind of light in it. Coming over here, we can see our boost gauge. And here's our shifter on the floor. Drifting all the gears. Yeah, all that stuff worked. Oh, reverse is actually on the other way. That's cool. Okay. How about the door closing and opening? Oh yeah, that sounds like a chunky door. Yeah, yeah. That's a chunky door if I've ever heard one. Okay, so let's go here. Now, this is pretty extreme, but the suspension is really well made. So I don't think that the MD will have a problem with this. So we'll probably keep that consistent 5 miles an hour speed. I think that's pretty reasonable. Well, I can tell here there's a lot less articulation on the suspension. As you can see, the car is doing most of the moving compared to the actual suspension itself. This is really stiff suspension. That is really interesting. Okay, we'll go over here to this one. Oh my god. This thing is bouncing, dude. Jeez. Now, it'd probably help if I had 4-wheel drive turned on, which I have it off right now. Because I gotta put in the transfer case for it. Alright, wow. Okay, both trucks look good. Both trucks look good. They definitely look good. Alright, there you go. Pretty neat. Yeah, they both did it pretty well. Can't complain there. Okay, let's try the regular configuration, the non-off-road ones. So we're gonna come in here. The Durham has like 43 different configurations to choose from. So yeah, there's definitely a few in here. Okay, so right here we're looking at the standard one. This is the newer front end from the 2000s. Interior changed up a little bit actually. It's actually pretty neat. Oh, and it's like a full cab. You can go in there. Okay, so I guess we can change out the MD as well. Choose another configuration that kind of fits that other one. All right, we could probably go. Did that one have a flatbed, or had no? It had nothing, right? It was like no frame. There it is. I mean, this one's a little bit heavier, but it kind of gets the idea. Okay, we'll do the same test again. Let's see how well the MD does here. Ooh. Look at that beam suspension just putting in work, dude. Wow. That's crazy. I guess that's the one advantage of a beam front end suspension. It just takes those kind of weird inclines like that perfectly. I mean, that thing is killing it. Well, this one should have a front end beam suspension as well. Oh, but see, this one doesn't articulate as much. Interesting. Oh no, I drove it off. Pretty neat. They both handled it very well, though. That's for sure. It's pretty, noticeable that you can pretty much do the same thing with both these trucks. Now, the big differences that I see is this vehicle, the MD, was made by a group of people, right, who essentially had a goal to make a mod that is essentially a new vehicle for the game, and this is a developer level, vehicle. There's reactable buttons inside of the cockpit, like the new airbag system and things like that. And also this mod will continue to have updates here on going forward. I'm sure they're probably going to do the same thing like they did with the T series, where there's like they've already done 3 parts now to the T series mod, I'm sorry, to the T series themselves, just the base game T series. So they just keep adding things on top of other things. So this is just the beginning for the MD, and we're definitely going to see a lot more of this stuff. I guarantee it, with different like configurations and probably different engines and stuff like that. Because now it took this long, and we finally got 2 engines for the T series in the base game. Now, unfortunately, as far as for the Durham goes, the actual mod creator of the Durham I don't think is updating this mod anymore, and I don't think he said that he will be either, because essentially this mod is at a certain age where all the stuff that has to be done has to essentially be redone, and I think it's just not interesting to him anymore. Now, personally, I don't think the mod creator had anything to do with the new MD series coming out. I think that Beam kind of just did that on their own. The mod creator did say that he did notice that there's some weird kind of files in the game, and he kind of had an idea that it was coming, but had no idea that it was coming. And you can read all this stuff in the forum of the Gavril Durham. It will be like towards the newest stuff. There's some questions people asked in there, and he's been pretty active. He's actually a really active mod creator on Beam, and a really active person on the Beam community. We do have a few more things to kind of cover as far as the Durham goes. So looking into the different configurations here. So if you were to use the Durham for career mode, it's actually not that bad of a vehicle. They usually spawn up pretty cheap, and they are pretty capable and can do a lot of good stuff. So here, if we spawn in this is like I guess the off-road version. We can pull up the config here, and if we look up load, front and rear load, you can actually do cargo boxes. Yay! So the cargo boxes were added a few months ago from the mod creator itself. It's a kind of an update that hadn't happened in a very long time for this car. But yeah, they somewhat work. Okay, they somewhat work. They're pretty finicky, especially now with the new. Oh, you know what? There's the new boxes, so it's probably messing everything up. That would explain that. So we can do two cargos. Ooh. Okay, yeah, that one's not gonna work. Let's see if there's a different configuration. So I'm sure 0.33 kind of broke that, and it's not working anymore. Let's try one of these. Well, I guess the cargo used to work, right? I guess it doesn't work now. The big cargo boxes, you can't get cargo in there either. You can open the doors. I thought you could. Yeah, I guess you can't. But you can. You look up load. Nothing happens. It's just because this mod was created back when cargo boxes weren't really a thing, so there's no need for it. And then they got an update for it, but I guess now it's broken. So that's kind of sucks. And then with the new MD, you can have any sort of cargo box configuration depending on the space that you have. So if we just look up load, 2 cargo boxes. Oh, hold up. Oh yeah, okay, on the flatbed. I knew that. So yeah, you can do 2 cargo boxes on the flatbed. You can't do any on the inside, which is kind of a bummer. Okay, cool. Well, that kind of covers the career mode kind of aspect of things. So it's a great truck for doing things like towing. Actually, I don't even think, can it support the new trailers? That is a great question, Hector. Because I know the coupler system changed. I'm sure it can. The coupler system changed in 0.32 or 3.1. If I want to remember correctly. Let's do the military tan. Now the dually configuration is pretty sweet. The tandem axles. It's pretty neat. It's like a stubby T series. I like it. Some tanker stuff. We'll do 3,400 liters of petrol. Alright, just driving this thing around a bit. I'm trying to see what its limit is. How much is enough for this thing? Sounds funny. Well, that's not bad, man. It's doing pretty good. Oh no, rear shaft broken. Well, I guess we need to get the correct config, huh? All right, let's send it. I feel like we should go to the slower ones first, like we did before. I feel like the dual axle is an unfair advantage, just because there's so much weight on the nose right there. So I don't know. We can take this one to a grain of salt if it doesn't do well. there you go. Okay. Oh, dude, there's no way. That's actually crazy. Damn, dude. Dude, I'm finally wedged. Took so long. Dang, dude, that's freaking crazy. Okay, the MD kind of showed out right there, man. That's crazy. So this video is gonna be nice and short and pretty simple, but let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like the MD? Do you guys like the Durham? Which one do you prefer better? Is there any other medium-sized pickup trucks that we need to look at too? Definitely comment down below what you guys think, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.